In the last training, we took a look at the different types of interviewers and how to handle each and every one of them. Now, we are going to be looking at how to conduct yourself before entering the interview room. That's how you conduct yourself, the behaviors you should exhibit before you even enter the interview environment and get into the interview room to meet with the recruiting personnel or personnels. Now let's start with right from the home. What do you eat? What you eat before going for an interview is very, very, very important, because an interview could be scheduled, say, for around 12 noon, and under stressful kinds of interview, the interview for 12 noon ends up being taken around 6 in the evening. It happens. Now, depending on what you have eaten, what you have taken or you didn't take before coming for the interview, you can start affecting your behavior, your demeanor before the actual interview takes place, and all this could end up being a disadvantage to you. Now, somebody that has a very, very weak stomach and you eat the type of food that disturbs your stomach, you discover that you'll be running to the convenience every minute, disrupting the interview flow, making you lose confidence and not building rapport between yourself and the recruiting officer. So the question is, what should you eat before you step out of your home? Now, let me first of all mention some kinds of food that are not advisable. Now, eating beans, eating eggs before going down for the recruiting exercise is not very, very good. Now, many of you know the reason why. For those persons with weak stomach, even those without weak stomach, you could end up fouling up the whole environment during recruiting exercise. Now, it might even happen that there is no sound is coming out as you foul the environment. You foul the environment, but the recruiting officers are going to know. They are smart. We are smart individuals, and the whole environment is all fouled up, and you are the only person there with them who did it. Of course, they know that you are the one. Now, all this could disrupt your psyche and make you end up losing in the interview race. Now, also, you could start asking the interviewer, maybe during the interview, because of what you ate, you now start telling the interviewer, please, may I use your convenience? I want to go and ease myself. And of course, they will allow you. You ease yourself for like an hour interview. You ease yourself for like 4 to 5 times because of what you took, or because of what you drank, or what you ate. So be very, very mindful of what you eat before going to an interview arena, and please make sure you eat something. Don't go hungry, even if you're interviewing in a place that they say that they are going to feed you. Because what happens, say the interview ends up being taken around, say, 4 p.m. in the evening, you have not taken anything, and as the interviewer is talking to you, your stomach is growling, showing that you are hungry, and they now ask you, are you hungry? You say, yes, I'm hungry. They will now go and buy you food. Funny as may appear, as it may sound, it has happened during an interview, and even me myself, I was ashamed for the young lady. So that is one. Make sure that you eat the right food that doesn't disturb your stomach. Now, if the interview is scheduled to hold by, say, 12 noon, for instance, it's 12 noon, go there like 15 minutes before the interview. Not that the interview is 12 noon and 9 a.m. in the morning you are already there, waiting for even the persons conducting the interviews to come. It makes you appear very, very, to look desperate. So if it is 12 noon, get there like 11:45, 15 minutes to 12, that is. Never you go late for any interview. It shows that you don't value the opportunity and you don't value the persons, the interviewers. Now, let's say you have observed all these things and the interview is 12 o'clock and you are getting to the interview room. It's like 10 minutes to 12 and you have already learned that you shouldn't be late for an interview. Then you now step to the gate. You discover that the gate is all chained up. You are knocking on the gate, and the gateman, you can see the gateman is as if he's sleeping. And you are shouting, please open the gate, open the gate. Then the gateman sluggishly, you are checking your time, it's now 5 minutes to, you don't want to come in late. And the gateman sluggishly comes to the gate and opens it. Now, how do you respond to the gateman? This is very, very important. Now, some ladies that lack manners, they will start screaming at the gateman, what are you doing at this time? Look at you. 12 noon, it's not even yet 12 noon, and you are sleeping. See, you are lazy, a lazy gateman. That is why you are a gateman, and you remain a gateman all your life. And they speak in this manner to the gateman. They now walk in. They are not still satisfied. As they move some distance, they now turn back, face the gateman, and give the gateman a whacker after he say, and they move on. Now, but what they don't know is that the gateman, the person posing as a gateman, is not actually a gateman, but a recruiting officer posing like a gateman. Because for some very sensitive job, the company, the recruiting officers, they want to know who you are, not just your paper qualification. They want to know who you are, your personality makeup, how you react to under pressure and to things like that. And before you even meet with the recruiting officers, you have already lost the job, because even before you get to the interview room, the gatesman, who is not actually a gateman, we call on them using the intercom, or we call, just inform them that the person coming in, the lady coming in, is not the right candidate. So now, when you pass the gate test, let's assume you pass the gate test, you walk into the interview arena. Of course, you are not going to be the only one there. We're looking at the third point now, relating with the other job seekers. Now, let's say you walk into the interview room. Let's say it in the interview arena before you get into the interview room. And you now walk into the interview room. As you walk in, let's say a young man, the moment you walk in, you now see some beautiful creations of God, fellow interviewees, and they are ladies. Suddenly you discover that the young man step, somebody that was walking properly before, will now change his step because you now want to impress the ladies. There are CCTV cameras everywhere. For some very sensitive jobs, they are observing your every behavior, your psychological makeup. Now, this young man will now stand in front of the ladies and bring out an iPhone. We'll be looking at trying to not really doing anything, but for the ladies to discover, to know that he is using an iPhone, that he is a big boy. Then, after showcasing such behavior, he will now come down and sit. And because some ladies are easily moved by the things, the physical things they see, and then the young man will say, "Hi, may I meet you?" And the lady will say, yes. What's your name? My name is so and so. And now say, we are observing you through the CCTV. The young man will now say, "Hey, may I have your digits?" You now say, "Which one? Anyone? I have NTA, Gletisalat, Starcoms." You have all of them. It's even Starcoms. Both of you are going to lose out in the interview race. Now, if you are a lady and a young man is disturbing you like that, you came for an interview. You didn't come to hunt for ladies or to hunt for a man. You came for an interview. So behave that way. Now, if we notice that somebody is disturbing you as a lady, what are you supposed to do? Don't scream at the person, not at all. Maintain professional behavior. Just keep on glancing through the magazine or your document, your CV document. And if it keeps on disturbing you because we are observing, and the interviewers, a resource person will step in and they will move him out of that environment. But never you on any occasion call your fellow job hunter, job seeker a goat. Because some ladies do get annoyed and say, "Did they send you here? Did they send you here? Keep away from me, you goats." Calling somebody a goat, that alone could cost you the opportunity. Also, if you work, all these are room tests. I'm showcasing the various room tests to you. Now, also, let's say an IT student, it might be a very, very big hall, and we just ask all of you to move into the hall, and resource person, they are observing you. Now, if you move into the hall, you will discover in some occasions, room test also, will place like can juice, some debris around everywhere. You see some trash can, and the picker you can easily use to pick up the trash can. Now, if you are among the candidates that sat inside the dirt, not mindful of the dirty environment, automatically you have been screened out. All those that notice dirt in the environment and use the picker and picked and threw into the trash can, they now move into the next phase of the recruiting exercise. This is especially used for IT placement opportunities. You should note that. Then also, still on room test. Now, if you walk into the reception room before you go into the interview room, oftentimes you are going to see a screen there. And we will discover that the channel is always either on any of the news network, either CNN or Al Jazeera or like Animal Planet. Now, this happens with ladies especially. They will sit down and they will now be watching the Animal Planet, and the lady will say, you see a lion chasing a zebra and catching up with the zebra and tearing the zebra apart. The lady will say, what concerns me with lion chasing a zebra? Please, Jerry. She will now look for the remote and pick it and punch it. Bang, 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 bang. Where is she going to? She's going to African Magic. And the station lands on African Magic, and you now see African Magics. Somebody on a very short wrapper, red wrapper with small cutlass, will appear in the city. As they appear in the office of a rich man, will now point the cutlass. The rich man will not notice him, point the cutlass on the rich man, and something like fire or smoke will come out from the cutlass and hit the rich man on the forehead. The rich man will fall down and die, and the lady will be jumping up and that is what you want to be watching during the recruiting exercise. You are not serious. Now, also, if you walk into the interview arena, you discover that sometimes also a test, room test, magazines, Better Lover, Hint, romance magazine, newspapers will be placed, journals. Some persons will go and they will check all of them. They will now pick maybe hints. I'm just citing an example. I don't know if Hints magazine still exists, by the way. And they will now flip through and they will see the title. After 8 years of dating, he dumped me for a sugar mommy, and they will not be shaking their head. Men are wicked. But that is what you want to be reading during recruiting exercise. All these things could knock you out of the race. What you do is that you pick up the daily newspaper. Even if you have never read newspaper before, just pick it and go and sit down. Just be looking at the picture and going through. We won't know if you are looking at the picture. And as you are going through, just be nodding your head. The recruiting officer will say, that's an intelligent young man or young lady. But within you, even if you are not intelligent, we already believe that you are intelligent. It is a plus to you. These are also the various room tests. All these should be taken note of. The TV, the magazine, dates in the environments, and the likes. All these are very important. So that's it for how to conduct yourself before entering the interview room, and before moving out of your home to go for an interview section. When next we come, we are going to be looking at the psychological and mental packaging, and we are going to be looking at all this, talking about the body language. All these things goes a long way to telling if you are going to land the opportunity. Thank you and have a wonderful time.